Behemshech to last week's shaila of someone using a chametz dike knife to cut cold chicken, another shaila came up once, a stricter shaila, a harder shaila, more chomerdik. Betos, the shiksa actually cooked the Pesach dike chicken soup in a chametz dike pat. Literally took a chametz dike clean pat and cooked the Pesach dike chicken soup. The person freaked out, obviously, oivei, and then took the hot soup and poured it into a kosher Pesach dike pat. So the similar nekudas that we said in the previous shaila, if the pat was an einay ben yoimoy and clean, the food is certainly muter b'di'evet. You can eat it l'chatchila, meaning because an einay ben yoimoy is kosher on Pesach, and if it would happen before Pesach because of bittul, like we discussed. But what would be if the pat would take have been a ben yoimoy, mamish, used it for chametz, make lokshen that morning, cleaned the pat, and then the shiksa took it, or I'm saying shiksa because it shouldn't happen to anyone else, and betos, you should also be standing on top of the kitchen being mashgiach, but if it happened, cook the kosher lepesach dike soup in this pat. What would be the din? So actually, this din is mamash a din brought straight in Shulchan Aruch, in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, and Simetov Mem Zayin. The shaila would be, is it considered noisen tam, bar noisen tam? Now is not the time or the scope to be able to go through the whole yesodis, but basically the chicken soup should be kosher, because the pat is tam rishon, the soup is tam sheni, and once it's tam sheni, it's considered weak, and by the time Pesach would enter, Erev Pesach, the Zman would enter, it wouldn't be able to become chametz. That's the yesod of why it would be mutter. However, the Alter Rebbe brings the famous machloikis or rishonim, if not banat would work on Pesach, and it's a clear machloikis, if not banat works, and therefore, even if it happens before Pesach. So the Alter Rebbe brings a machloikis. According to one shitta, it would be considered not banat, and the soup would be befedish kosher lePesach. And according to the second shitta, not banat does not work for Pesach, and therefore, even though it's tam sheni, nevertheless, it will become chametz when the time comes. So the soup, according to the second shitta, is clearly asur. So therefore, the psak to this shaila was, unless it's a hefsid merubim and simchas yom tiv together, which is rare to happen, because hopefully it happens early enough that you could make another soup, or buy another soup in a kosher lePesach dike store. So the soup is kosher. But now the soup is, asur to eat on Pesach, because we're chayshish for the second shitta. However, what about the kosher lepesach dike pat that they poured the soup into afterwards? So the soup is not good. Did they ruin now a kosher lepesach dike pat? So here, the Alter Rebbe, based on a Magen Avraham, the Alter Rebbe says that even according to the Machmirim, the nat bar nat is osur on Pesach. Nevertheless, if it's 3 nois tam, that's muter on Pesach. So therefore, the original chametz dike pat would be tam rishon. The second, the soup would be tam sheni, and the pat that you poured it into would be now considered tam shlishi, and therefore this pat would be kosher lePesach. Now again, I need to reiterate that because on Pesach we have extra chumras and extra minhagim that certainly don't always make sense. If someone asked me, not al pi halacha, what's my recommendation? I would recommend that he kashers that pat, the third pat, in order to use it for Pesach. B'shas hatchak mamish, you have no choice. You can't kasher it. You can't buy a new pat. It's 100% kosher. So paskins the Alter Rebbe, as long as the food wasn't chorif, and a typical soup is not considered chorif.